and we connected them to one of these small glucose sensors and tracked their glucose levels continuously for an entire week. And during that week, participants logged everything that they ate on a mobile app that we developed. And so that allowed us to measure glucose responses to 50 different meals for each person and around 50,000 different meals across all 1,000 participants, making our study the largest one that was ever done on this problem until today. So what did we find? Well, when we looked at averages, we saw trends. For example, more carbohydrates in the meal generally increase the response. This is not so surprising. Another, perhaps more surprising trend is that more fat in the meal generally decreased the response. But, and this is the key finding of our study, for every trend we found, there were many people who were very different from it. Basically, when the same person ate the same meal on different days, the response was very similar. But when different people ate the same meal, the response was very different. For example, white bread induced almost no effect on the blood sugar levels of some people, but in others it induced huge spikes. And the same was true for every single food we tested, including rice, pizza, sushi, and even chocolate. For every food, there were some people who had low responses, others who had medium responses, and yet others that had very high responses.
All right, y'all. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the clip of the video that you just watched. It's by Professor Eran Segal in a study that he conducted with his partner, Dr. Ela Navas, indicating that there's a drastic change in blood sugar levels between two individuals on identical diets. Now, I see this study is flawed in a number of ways. First off, Dr. Segal bases all his research on 1 week of 1,000 participants who eat roughly 50 meals a week. 50,000 meals that are studied. Okay, he takes these numbers, saying it's the biggest study that's ever been conducted of its kind. However, he fails to take into consideration one very, very important point. And see, this guy is on TED Talks. All right, so this is a man who should, in my opinion, it doesn't make him a bad guy now, who, if he's gonna get up there and say that the best diet for humans is a diet that is tailored to the individual because of their glucose response to different type of foods that is particular to them, he needs to have all his I's dotted and T's crossed. And what I mean by that is he fails to take into consideration the fact that, pause for emphasis here, people who have and are eating a diet high in fats or have eaten diets high in fats naturally will have higher glucose responses to white refined sugar, such as white bread, as he pointed out in the clip, sugar, chocolate. Anything with high carbohydrates will spike in individuals' glucose levels because of the amount of fat in the blood. The fat inhibits the glucose from entering into the red blood cells. Therefore, the glucose levels in the blood will be higher. Fail to take into consideration the amount of cholesterol and fat in an individual's blood prior to them eating whatever it is that they documented that they ate on that mobile app leaves the study completely debunked and void of any scientific basis. Because we know for a fact that individuals who eat a diet that is low in fat and high carbohydrates have lower resting insulin levels. What that means is that their insulin response to high carbs, to carbs in general, period, will be faster and quicker. Their blood will spike. Their glucose levels will spike. However, they will slowly and return to their levels prior to the eating of the carbohydrates. Why? Because their body is efficient in its use of the insulin, and its glucose is immediately absorbed into the cells. Boom. So then there's a return back down to normal glucose levels. Unlike the people that have been tested in this study who eat these foods that they documented on their app and then have a high glucose response, it's because their blood is full of fat. And because it's full of fat, their pancreas has to pump out more insulin in order to be able to bring down their glucose levels in their blood, because the the glucose is being absorbed into the red blood cells to be able to be used. So you see how bad it is to eat a standard westernized diet that is high in fat, saturated fats. It just, anything you eat. Okay, why? So let me explain why Mr. Segal, Mr. Segal's research is flawed. Again, in another respect, is because he says that, oh, some people, that same food didn't affect their blood glucose. Well, you know why? Because they probably don't eat a diet that is high in fat and saturated fats that has their blood clogged with all this excess fat. So, I mean, it's pretty simple to somebody that knows. But if you don't know, you might watch this video and then just be like, wow. So that means I need a diet that's particular and special just for me. No. Another marketing gimmick, a way to sell a book, some new research that really is flawed research from the beginning. I wonder how these people even become scientists. I should be a scientist. Start calling me Dr. Rocco, Bill Rocco, the science guy. Because I mean, come on, man. This is just simple stuff, man. It's so simple. If y'all have any questions, go to Duke University. Look at their website, the Walter Kempner rice diet. Look what he did with just rice, white rice. And he chose white rice because it's more palatable. Table sugar, fruit, and fruit juices. Fed his patients that. Sedentary patients at that, meaning that they were in hospital beds, monitored around the clock. And what happened? Cured type 2 diabetes. Cured obesity. The average patient lost 25 pounds, average. Liver disease, cured it. Cancer. Yep. It's always been around, but they don't want you to know. The masses don't want you to know. Individuals like this, Iran Segal, they don't want you to know. I think he probably, in my opinion, seems like a nice guy, sincere guy, like a smart guy. You know, the fact that he's wrong doesn't make him a bad guy, unless he knew about this. The fact that, you know, different individuals have higher or lower resting insulin levels due to the fact that amount of exercise and the amount of fat that they have in their blood. And if he knew about that and he came out with the study anyways without taking that into consideration, that makes him a bad guy. I don't think he's going to be too happy about this video, but after watching this, I mean, I couldn't help but make a video about it, y'all. I mean, let me know what y'all think. You know, drop your comments down in the comment section below. I mean, I'm just flabbergasted. I just passionate about this, man. I'm passionate about the truth. Once I found the truth, this guy gets up here with all these credentials saying that it's not that, you know, different individuals need a different diet that's tailored specifically to them, when really, you know, you forgot to take into consideration the biggest factor in the regulation of sugar, and that is resting insulin levels and the amount of fat in an individual's blood, which is an inhibitor to glucose entering into the red blood cells. It's that simple. Another thing he didn't speak about was the body's response to foreign, what it considers foreign matter, such as like saturated fats that have been burned on a grill, aka steak, with the fat in it, that is carcinogenic, type 2, labeled by the now listen, y'all, American Cancer Foundation has labeled processed meats a type 1 carcinogen. You know what that is? It's on the same level as cigarettes, y'all. Yes, cigarettes. So every time you eat a hot dog or sausage or any processed meats, bologna, type 1 carcinogen, you might as well be eating cigarettes, smoking cigarettes, because that's what you're eating. red meat, steaks, things of that nature, type 2 carcinogens, just as bad. When you cook them on the grill and you ingest them, your body responds by raising your white blood cell count because it is now has to clean up all these toxins, free radicals that you put into your body. All right. So just a little science lesson for y'all. I mean, this is when I hear individuals like this, they get up here and they make these profound claims like, oh, I done discovered the wheel, when really what you did was you committed yourself and a bunch of, I'm assuming, taxpayers' dollars to a study that failed to have a foundation, right? So if he would have just took that into consideration at the beginning, I guarantee his results would have been different. High carb, low fat, vegan lifestyle, the perfect diet for humans. That's what it is. Y'all take care.